What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen, athletic power and speed analyst for modernsportstraining.com. And in this first episode of athletic power and speed analysis, I want to take a look at Tiger Woods' golf swing and break it down for you so you can understand a few components here. The first thing I want you to understand is how Tiger generates force from his body, how Tiger transfers that force to the golf club, and how Tiger handles the recoil energy. So I have some videos here from YouTube of some slow motion videos here of Tiger Woods. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see how he swings, okay? Let's rewind this here. Let's go ahead. In this video here, he's starting right here. And notice how he has his hands in his center line. Now, notice how when he swings this, he winds up this golf club here. Notice where it stops at. Boom, right there. Okay. Notice how he bends this knee right here. The reason why he's bending this knee is because there is torque he has to relieve the tension that is on this right knee right here, because normally the more efficient way to do it would be to lift this heel up and rotate the heel towards the golf ball. But because he's not doing that, you know, one of the things that I see that's very common when I'm training golfers is that the golfers are stuck in a certain way in swinging it, and so this is like the traditional method. If you take, for example, a samurai or a ninja or a martial artist that knows how to use a spear or a sword or a staff or a stick, they would not stand in a position like this to swing a weapon, okay? And you may think that as you're listening to this that this is golf. This is not a combat where you have to swing a sword or a weapon, so you may not see the correlation. However, the correlation is not that far apart. When you swing a weapon, a baseball bat or a golf club, all you are doing is you are generating power from your body, and then you are transferring it into a stick, a sword, a golf club, a baseball bat, okay? And that's just, in the Chinese martial arts, we call that just an extension of the human body. So whether you use a knife, a stick, a golf club, that's nothing more than an extension of the human body, and there are specific, let's just say, natural laws of physics that govern how you can efficiently transfer energy into an extension of the human body. In this particular case, the extension of the human body here is the golf club instead of a samurai sword. So ideally, we would want to eliminate the pain or the torquing of his knees, and you can do that by simply lifting up this left heel here, okay, and the heel on this side. And because traditionally you don't do something like that in golf, that's why he is forced to lower and bend this knee to eliminate the torque and the torsion, the twisting of this knee over here. So the other thing that you need to pay attention to, okay, as he winds up here, is that notice where the club head is right here, and notice where it's going to come around and it's going to end up over here, okay? Whenever you swing any object in, whether it's in golf or baseball, or if you're swinging a samurai sword, the key to generating maximum power and speed is to make sure that the potential energy that you generate or you collect during the wind-up phase is released at the peak of an arc. So just imagine that this is the peak right here. I mean, this is the arc, and at the top of this arc is what's considered the peak. Whenever you swing something that comes through here, the energy has to be released here. This is the ideal spot right here where energy needs to be released into the ball or into your opponent if you happen to be swinging a sword or a spear, and then it gets released. This right here, when the club head or the sword or the stick or the spear goes beyond this point, it starts to lose energy. Okay, so this is where you want it to be right here. So let's take a look at over here. We want to make sure that when he swings this, it comes around, and if we take a look at it, just keep in, I don't have something to mark on the screen where the head of this club is at, but just remember that it's right here at his head level over here, and we're going to see where it ends, and you'll notice that it usually ends up at the peak of his arc, and that's what makes Tiger so devastatingly dangerous, because he has very good control of the arcs of his human body. Okay, so let's continue this. As he swings this, notice how, boom, right here, notice how his, I don't know if you guys can see it on this video or not, but his body is starting to go up. It's starting to lift off the ground vertically. And the reason why it's lifting off like that is to remove the tension and the twisting of this knee over here. Okay, so watch this as he comes up. See, notice how his body is leaving the ground, it's coming up, and notice how it's making contact here. The club head is going to make contact right in the center of his body, which is in proper alignment right there. Okay, and now as he comes around, as the club head moves and comes around, he has to do something with that energy that is trapped in his knee. So that's why he's coming off the ground and his heel's coming off right here. And as it comes through right here, notice how he lands back on the ground, and it ends up over here. The club head over here. Boom, right there. So if you were to draw that and come all the way back around over here, you'll notice that he has very good use of his arcs, where he releases his potential energy at the peaks of his arcs to generate maximum power. Now notice how the arc is in his whole body right here. He is doing this for a specific reason, because the power that is generated from his heels as it travels up through his knees, his hips, his spine, his shoulders, his elbows, and then his wrists, and then out into the golf club here. It's there's a recoil energy, and not only is there a recoil, but the recoil comes from hitting the ball, and it transfers back. And as it's coming through his body, he has no place to divert that. Usually when you want, usually in the Chinese martial arts, when we swing a spear or a sword, we normally, when there's a recoil energy, we try to transfer that back into the ground so that the earth absorbs the recoil energy. In this particular case, Tiger is not doing a very good job of, he does an excellent job of generating maximum power into the golf club, but he's not doing a very good job of handling the recoil energy that comes back. So because of that, parts of his body has to absorb that recoil energy instead of letting the earth absorb the recoil energy. So right here is where it's being absorbed at, in his lower back and his mid back, and it's also here in this left knee, and it's being absorbed here in the left ankle right here. And to generate efficient power and handle recoil energy efficiently, you never want the human body to absorb the recoil at the joints. You want it to absorb the recoil energy, if it has to, in the muscle bellies, because the muscle tissue is a lot softer, and when it absorbs the recoil energy, it does less damage to the human body than it would if you let tendons and ligaments in the joints, the hard connected tissues, absorb the recoil. So as long as he continues to swing this, he's always going to risk damaging the ankle here, the knee, and the lower back and the mid back, okay, as he's doing that. So let's take a look at this one more time, here from the very beginning, from where he starts. Okay, notice how he comes up, he winds up, okay. Energy is being stored right here. In case you don't know, as he's winding up, the energy is being stored right here in his leg. The potential energy to go into this golf club is being stored in this leg, and it's being stored in his lower back and mid back. And then as he releases it right here, Notice how the energy now is traveling into his arm and then into the golf club right there. And it has to follow through. Now, what we can do here in this particular swing to help generate even more power and speed, from just analyzing the arcs of Tiger's body, he's probably if he was to generate all the power that he's generating from his body right now, I would say that probably only 70 or 80% of that power that he is generating is actually going into the golf ball, because a huge portion of that energy is being trapped right here in this left knee, and it cannot go up into the golf club. So this is it's what's called a stagnation or a blockage of energy. The potential energy that is trying to travel and go into the golf club keep in mind that imagine if someone is pulling a bow back and about to release the arrow, and you come and you put a wall in front of that arrow and it doesn't get fully released, well then that's going to block the energy of the arrow from going very far. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but what it is you're basically jamming up the energy flow to go smoothly up through the body and into the golf club. So I would say that if Tiger were to clean this up, two things will benefit him. One is that the energy that he produces, he can transfer 100% of it, or nearly 100%, because energy is not efficient. You're going to lose it through heat and friction. So if he can transfer this, he would get a lot more power and speed into the ball, okay? A significantly more, very noticeable and very measurable. The second advantage he would have if he cleans up the arcs of his golf swing here is that he would eliminate the pain that is in this knee here, and it would eliminate the pain that's in his back from having to deal with the recoil after he hits the ball. So let's go ahead and take a look at this other here. This is another angle and another view, and I just want to play through this so that you can see what I'm talking about. Notice how he winds up right here, and the energy is being stored right here in this leg and in his back. And then as he releases it right here, notice how when he hits this, there's going to be a recoil energy that shoots through, and he has to do something with it. And the only way that he knows how to deal with that recoil energy is to lift up this leg over here or lift up this leg. And watch, see that? I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but notice how this is folded. So in other words, the ankle on his left leg here is pointed towards this camera crew here. It's pointing outwards, and the reason why it's doing that is to eliminate the energy that was trapped in his left leg and to release it right there. And notice how it's very, very obvious now that his leg is off the ground. So right there, at this moment in time, he is standing on the left edge of the outer edge of his left foot right here, and that in the Wu Qi system that I study, Wu Qi is a Chinese system of generating maximum power and speed from the human body. This violates some of the natural principles of how animals are designed to produce power and speed in nature. So ideally, the way that the energy that he generates can go completely into the golf ball would be to eliminate that blockage that is constantly happening here with Tiger Woods and many golfers, not just Tiger Woods. Okay, so let's finish that. Let's replay that again one more time so that we can see that. Let me see if I can reload this. I don't know why it's not. So everything is fine here. He winds up, and then as he goes, sorry about that. Notice how he does have very good use of the hips. Notice how the hips were moving. See that? Notice how the hips are moving, and he's putting more power into it. But now notice how his body just lifted up off the ground. Pay attention to that. This is a very, very inefficient way to transfer energy. Notice this. Notice how he comes off the ground right there. And that's very inefficient because the energy that was stored, that potential energy that was stored in this leg should have went into the golf ball. And it's not. It's not going completely into the golf ball. A huge portion of it is going into lifting his body off the ground. So whenever you swing a golf club like that, you never want to waste that much energy into lifting off the ground. There's absolutely no reason for his body to come vertically off the ground and lift up in the air like that. Okay? The only reason why he has to do that, and he's forced to do that, is to eliminate the energy blockage that's over here and from tearing his knee over here. That's why he's forced to do that. But to be more efficient, you do not want to do that. You can simply eliminate that by turning this heel up towards the golf ball and to slide it over here slightly. If he does that, then that's one way to eliminate the blockage over here so that energy can freely travel up that leg and into the golf ball. The other way that he can do it is to turn this heel, this toe right here, is to turn it out maybe about 15 or 20 degrees towards the camera crew here, and that will also release the tension or the blockage that's happening right here on the left leg, thereby allowing the energy, the potential energy, to flow into kinetic energy correctly into this golf swing. So that will allow Tiger to direct and transfer the majority of the energy that he produces to go into the golf club and not to lift his body off the ground. That motion where his body comes off the ground is an extremely inefficient way to transfer energy. So let's finish that, and then you'll see here that he lands back on the ground on the flat edge of his left foot. Okay, so let's take another look at here from another angle that you can see right here. Let me turn the volume off here. So as we're doing this, notice how he winds up. Again, he has a very good use of the hips. Energy is being transferred from this leg up and into it. And notice how this heel is turning and it's coming up. And notice now in this particular case, in this particular incident here, notice how his back, his body is arched this way. And the reason why it's arched that way is because the energy is trapped right here. It's trapped here in his left knee again, and it's trapped right here on the middle of his left spinal erector muscles right here. So in order to eliminate that pressure so that he doesn't rip or tear his lower back and mid back, he is forced to lean to the right like that. And this is a completely inefficient way to transfer energy and deal with the recoil energy afterwards. So the way that he can correct this is just to slightly turn, like I said again in the previous video, is just to take this left foot right here and turn it towards this big tree right here by about 15 or 20 degrees. And then as he's swinging this, for this right heel to rotate towards the golf ball that was originally on the ground. And that will allow that energy to flow freely throughout his body without having to damage his left knee or damage his the back muscles over here. Okay, and that's the reason why, if we go back to the beginning here, that he is cringing and falling from this. Now when this happens really quick, you guys won't be able to see how the energy blockage is being stagnated on his left knee and his lower back and causing him to collapse to the ground. But I hope that the slow motion analysis in the other videos can help you understand this now when you watch this in slow motion. See this? It's being trapped right there where those wrinkles are on his shirt and causing him to collapse right there. And this is not, most people don't realize this, but Tiger Woods is actually a very muscular and very strong golfer. He works out and is very strong for a golfer. And because of that, his body produces a tremendous amount of force that he can deliver into the golf ball, through the golf club into the golf ball, the problem that he's running into is that no one has clearly shown him how to transfer the energy that his body produces in a clean and efficient manner into the golf club. Usually this would take a few weeks, and then it can eliminate this back pain that he has and prolong his career. Keep in mind that Tiger Woods is not the only one that suffers back problems. Almost the majority of all golfers suffer back problems and knee problems due to the way that they are not transferring energy correctly into the golf club and into the golf ball, and they are not handling the recoil energy from hitting the ball so hard as it comes through their body and letting the earth absorb it instead of absorbing it with the joints of their human body. So hopefully this analysis here will open your eyes to how power is generated by a world professional golfer such as Tiger Woods, how he's transferring it. Not, in my opinion, he generates power very well, but on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as energy transfer goes, he is not transferring energy very efficiently. There's much better ways to transfer energy, and for sure there is much better ways to deal with the recoil energy that comes back to his body so that he doesn't have to suffer the back pain that he is suffering whenever he swings a golf club, like in this video right here where he has to collapse to his knees like that after a swing. And this will continue to persist as long as he continues to swing the golf club in the manner that he does and position his feet in the way that he does. So if you want to avoid this back pain, make sure to turn this foot out about 15 or 20 degrees. I know everybody in golf likes to keep it so that it's perpendicular to the ball, but there is no law in nature that says that you have to do that. You should follow the laws of nature, not the laws of golfers when it comes to using the arcs of the human body to generate maximum power and speed. So let's go back here. I hope that you guys learned something out of this video presentation. Please leave some feedback, some questions and comments on what you thought about this athletic power and speed analysis here of Tiger Woods' golf swing. If you want to leave a coffee and beer donations, that would be awesome. I do accept Bitcoin donations, and the address is below. The other thing too is that sharing is caring. If you feel that this video was informative on the Tiger Woods golf swing, I invite you to share it with other golfers and other athletes, okay? And send me your videos of your success. If you're able to use some of the material that I share with you in this analysis and it benefits you in some way to improve your golf swing, I'd love to hear back from you, to get feedback. If you have a request for another golfer's golf swing or another athlete's power and speed movements, your requests for analysis are completely welcome, and please send me the video. That really makes it a lot easier. If you find the video of the motion from that athlete, whether it's in golf or any sport, just send me the link to it. A slow motion video of it would be much better. I'm not exactly sure what the policies are on YouTube. I know that if I were to download this video here and run it through my Adobe Premiere editor and use it to make annotations and stuff, I know that there's some copyright infringements, so that's the reason why I'm using the YouTube videos the way they are directly from YouTube and not downloading it to my computer to play it back in slow motion with better control. So until I figure that out, I'm just going to continue using the videos, the sports videos directly from YouTube. So thank you for watching this video, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next athletic power and speed analysis video.